Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SW Metro official channel.
Sister Wives. Here's how we know Meri Brown is clearly still in love with Kody Brown. There are some hints from the one-on-one specials that suggest Meri Brown may still be in love with her ex-husband, Kody Brown, even after the conclusion of the most recent season of TLC's Sister Wives. In a series of one-on-one interviews with host Suki Krishnan, the four major cast members of Sister Wives Season 19 discussed the season and its consequences. There were several obvious indications during Meri's parts that she still harbors feelings for Kody. Meri occasionally defended Kody's behavior, in contrast to prior wives Christine Brown-Woolley and Janelle Brown, who had harsh comments for their ex-husband. Meri also spoke affectionately about their marriage's happy moments, something that neither Christine nor Janelle seemed to be able to accomplish. Throughout the season, there were indications of their affection for one another, such as when Kody assisted Meri in moving from Flagstaff to Utah. Meri didn't turn around, even though she was perplexed by Kody's feelings on the day of the move. She seemed to have found peace with Kody, though, or she is still in some manner captivated by him. In reference to the luggage rack, Meri defended Kody. Meri refrained from jumping on the bandwagon and criticizing Kody in the heated argument over his usage of luggage racks when traveling with his wives, which Christine said was a metaphor for their whole relationship. Christine remembered how Kody would take the baggage rack for himself whenever they traveled, allowing the spouses to store their bags somewhere else. In this TikTok shared by TLC, Robyn Brown claimed she just took the baggage rack first without any problems, while Janelle supported Christine's account. "I don't feel like it's fair to sit there and complain," Meri said, downplaying the luggage rack's symbolic meaning. "I don't want to be critical. That doesn't appeal to me. That is not something I will do." Meri wouldn't consider the state of the luggage rack to be anything more than it was. In response to Suki's question about whether Meri thought Kody ever put himself first, Meri groaned and stated that he did, but only sometimes. Meri, who tends to tread a little more gently, and Christine and Janelle, who joyfully criticize Kody, appear to be on opposite sides of a line. She defends Kody from critics by claiming that he frequently prioritizes other people. It's uncertain if Meri genuinely still feels something for him or if she just wants to maintain harmony. Meri acknowledges that Kody made her feel unique. Meri gets really excited when she thinks back on her early years with Kody. She claimed that Kody was quiet and shy, while she was the reverse. He was boisterous, outgoing, and had a talent for winning people over. Meri fell even more in love with him as a result. In retrospect, Meri's endearing memory of their early years together is depressing. Kody made her feel so unique at the time, and she was completely enamored with him. Kody gave Meri a grin and made her feel like she mattered. In response to Suki's question about how recently she had experienced it from Kody, Meri sighed and replied, "It's been a while." With Kody, Meri felt safe. In a different scene, Suki asked Kody why he claimed that the only safe spaces he had in the numerous marriages were Meri and Robyn. The topic was brought up after it was disclosed that Kody had only told Meri and Robyn about an intimate college experience. After recalling how initially he and Meri felt much safer together, Kody talked about Robyn's support as a wife. Kody appears shocked to recall how emotionally personal he was with Meri when Suki tries to get him to talk about how he only felt secure with her at first and then with Robyn. He claimed that he had not recognized he was actually vulnerable with Meri for a long time. "I suppose it just kind of grew out of it." He was stupid to claim he was never in love with Meri, according to Kody. Meri thought it was interesting and nice that he recalled that he had trusted her when Suki told her what he had said. Meri responded that she felt comfortable with Kody when Suki asked her if she did. Meri still appears to have a soft spot for Kody, or at least to be carrying a torch for him. She refrains from adding insults while Janelle and Christine are disparaging him because of this. Meri most likely cherishes the recollection of the time when she and Kody were the only ones there. The emotional divide among the wives. It's impossible to discuss Meri's lingering feelings for Kody without first addressing the sharp contrast between her and the other former wives. Christine Brown-Woolley and Janelle Brown have made it abundantly clear that they have emotionally and romantically moved on from Kody. Christine, now happily married to David Woolley, often looks back on her marriage to Kody with disappointment and a sense of liberation. Janelle, though more reserved, has increasingly embraced her independence, moving on with her children and prioritizing her own well-being. But Meri? She seems to be caught in the in-between. Not quite in love, yet not detached either. Her tone during the tell-all interviews is less bitter, more wistful. She doesn't erupt into the type of frustration we often see from Christine. She doesn't shake her head or chuckle with disdain like Janelle. Instead, she defends, reminisces, and quietly acknowledges her emotional wounds. The biggest giveaway? Meri's unwillingness to pile onto the Kody criticism that Christine and Janelle freely participate in. Whether this is a result of maturity, restraint, or something more complicated, like unresolved love, is open to interpretation. But the difference is clear and consistent. Chapter 2, The Luggage Rack Defense, a subtle yet significant signal. Perhaps the most surprising example of Meri defending Kody came during a seemingly insignificant conversation about luggage racks, a metaphor Christine cleverly used to illustrate Kody's selfishness. Christine explained that Kody would always take the luggage rack for himself during family travels, leaving the wives to fend for their own belongings. Janelle nodded in agreement, reinforcing Christine's account. Robyn had a different take. She admitted to simply taking the rack first when she needed it. But Meri took an entirely different route. Instead of viewing the situation as a metaphor for how Kody prioritized himself, Meri brushed off the complaint. She said, "I don't feel like it's fair to sit there and complain. I don't want to complain. I'm not into that. I'm not going to do that." When Suki pressed Meri on whether Kody tended to put himself first, Meri gave a lukewarm sometimes, far from the harsh rebukes others have given him. Why is this important? Because Meri had every opportunity to join the chorus of grievances. But she didn't. Instead, she chose to spare Kody the criticism, not out of ignorance, but possibly out of love, respect, or a reluctance to damage the image she still holds of the man who once made her feel special. Chapter 3, A Love That Once Was, and May Still Be. One of the most emotional moments of Meri's tell-all interview was when she began reminiscing about the early days of her marriage to Kody. Her face lit up. Her voice softened. There was warmth in her tone that she doesn't display when discussing the more recent years of their relationship. She recalled being shy and introverted, while Kody was energetic, extroverted, and magnetic. That dynamic, she said, made her fall for him even harder. Meri described how Kody made her feel like she mattered. That simple phrase, paired with her wistful smile, was more powerful than any dramatic declaration could have been. When Suki asked her when was the last time she felt like she mattered to Kody, Meri gave a heartbreaking answer, "It's been a while." This moment wasn't filled with bitterness or anger. It was filled with grief, not for what happened, but for what was lost. And it's that subtle grief, that softness, that leads many viewers to believe Meri may still be in love with Kody. At the very least, she hasn't fully let go of the woman she was when Kody made her feel like the center of his world. Chapter 4, The Power of Safety and Emotional Vulnerability. Safety. Emotional safety. That's the word Kody used when reflecting on his early relationship with Meri. He said that when their marriage began, Meri and Robyn were his only safe spaces within the plural marriage. This statement seemed to catch even Kody off guard. When prompted by Suki to expand on the idea of emotional safety, Kody admitted, "I was actually vulnerable with Meri. Just kind of grew out of it, I guess." Grew out of it. That choice of words said more about Kody than it did about Meri. But what mattered was how Meri reacted when Suki relayed Kody's comment. She called it interesting and nice. There was no bitterness, just a quiet sense of validation. Almost as if she had been waiting for that acknowledgement for years. When Suki asked her if she ever felt safe with Kody, Meri said yes. It wasn't a dramatic or performative moment. It was soft, honest, and quietly emotional, an intimate confession from someone who may still remember the man who held her heart before things fell apart. Chapter 5, The Utah Move and Kody's Last Gift. During the season, one moment that stood out as unusually tender was when Kody helped Mary move from Flagstaff to her bed and breakfast in Utah. The two weren't exactly sharing affectionate banter, but there was something almost nostalgic about their interaction. For a brief moment, they weren't exes, they were the couple they once were. Mary seemed touched by Kody's presence, even as she admitted to being confused by his emotions. Kody, in turn, seemed conflicted, perhaps feeling the weight of loss, but unable or unwilling to admit it. Mary said she was surprised by how Kody handled the move, showing up, helping her, saying goodbye in a bittersweet way. For Mary, that may have felt like the last thread tying them together. But she didn't look back in anger. Instead, she seemed almost grateful that the memory existed at all. For someone truly done with their ex, this kind of reflection would have carried more detachment. But for Mary, it was tinged with meaning. Chapter 6, Her Relationship with Robyn, A Mirror of Hope? Another detail that shouldn't be overlooked is Mary's once close bond with Robyn Brown, who remains Kody's only wife. For years, fans noted how Mary and Robyn shared a sisterly closeness, one that often isolated Christine and Janelle. Why does this matter? Because it shows Mary stayed invested in the part of the family that kept her closest to Kody. Even after Kody emotionally distanced himself from her, Mary remained connected to Robyn, which meant staying within proximity to Kody's favor. That bond has since shown signs of breaking. But in its prime, it revealed how Mary never fully pulled away. If she truly wanted distance from Kody, Robyn would not have remained such a trusted confidant. Whether consciously or not, Mary's closeness to Robyn might have been a subconscious way of clinging to a connection with Kody. Chapter 7, Absence of Anger, a Sign of Lingering Love? Mary's most telling sign of residual affection for Kody isn't what she says, it's what she doesn't say. Unlike Christine and Janelle, Mary rarely expresses anger toward Kody. Her tone is often resigned, wistful, and sometimes quietly sad, but not bitter. This lack of vitriol could suggest that Mary still sees Kody in a positive light. Or, perhaps she still holds out hope that he'll one day look back and see her differently. It's an emotional posture rooted not in closure, but in lingering attachment. Her interviews reflect a woman who has accepted the reality of her situation, but not one who has emotionally moved on. And that distinction is crucial. Chapter 8, The Psychological Patterns at Play. From a psychological standpoint, Mary's behavior aligns with what's often seen in emotionally dependent or trauma-bonded relationships. When someone has experienced both deep connection and deep rejection within the same relationship, they can become emotionally stuck, clinging to early positive memories while downplaying later pain. Mary's frequent references to the early days, her defense of Kody's actions, and her lack of closure all suggest she's still emotionally tethered. Not necessarily because she wants to rekindle the marriage, but because her heart never fully reconciled with its ending. Chapter 9, Why Mary's Feelings Still Matter. Why does it matter if Mary still loves Kody? Because it shows the complexity of plural marriage, and the way emotional bonds evolve, degrade, and sometimes linger long after the relationship ends. Mary's journey is not just about heartbreak. It's about longing, identity, and self-worth. For viewers, her continued affection for Kody, even in the face of rejection, represents the very real emotional cost of living in a structure where love is divided, attention is uneven, and validation is fleeting. Chapter 10, What's Next for Mary? At this point, Mary seems to be forging a new chapter for herself, moving to Utah, focusing on her B&B, and releasing new projects. But whether she's truly over Kody remains an open question. As long as she speaks kindly of him, smiles at memories of their early days, and refrains from dragging his name like the others do, it's safe to say a part of her still loves him, or at least the version of him that once made her feel like she was the only woman in the world. And perhaps that's what Mary is still holding on to, not Kody as he is now, but the man he was when he made her feel seen, safe, and special. Sister Wives, supporters believe Kody's ex-wife should have her own dating show to find love. Over the course of the more than 15 years that Sister Wives has been airing, we have seen that Kody's ex-wives did not have the most fulfilling romantic relationships. Throughout the trip, Kody disregarded them, but after he married Robyn, things took a turn for the worst. The primary cause of the OG's 3 wives' successive departures from him was their sense of neglect. He tormented them in new ways every day, and they felt unwelcome. Christine declared that she would no longer remain with Kody once it got to be intolerable. Mary even left Kody, following her example. After meeting her soulmate, David, Christine quickly got married again. Mary, on the other hand, began actively seeking love and had a few affairs. Now, many remember her